Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is unlikely to go very far in his career. He might talk confidently, but action is another story. He prefers to do what's asked of him, stick to routines, and not push beyond his comfort zone. Over time, he may stay in one job or position for years with hardly any real progress.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he doesn't break down, but he also doesn't fight hard to fix things. He's not very emotional, so you won't see much drama or outbursts. He rarely opens up about his struggles or asks anyone for help.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
He's not the type to pick fights or get into heated arguments at work. He mostly keeps to himself and avoids drama. While he isn't rude just for the sake of it, he won't go out of his way to be friendly or make others feel good either. He won't win any popularity contests, but he also won't be causing trouble.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he's not likely to cheer you on with pride or excitement. At the same time, he won't openly try to pull you down or start arguments about your success. Don't expect big support or jealousy, just quiet distance.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you start earning more than him, he probably won't speak up about it or pick fights, but he could quietly feel uncomfortable. He is likely to keep his thoughts and feelings to himself, becoming even more withdrawn and distant at home. He won't loudly resent you or act jealous, but you might sense a gap growing between you.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He is quite careful with money and likes everything in order, so don't worry about reckless spending or wasteful habits. He prefers to follow a set pattern, paying bills on time, saving regularly, and not making sudden or risky purchases. He's the type to stick to tried and true methods rather than splurging on fun or unnecessary things.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He lives well within his means and doesn't pretend to be someone he's not. You won't catch him trying to show off with expensive clothes, gadgets, or outings just to impress others. If you value honesty and want someone who doesn't hide behind a fancy mask, that's a good sign.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He tends to be quite tight with both money and his way of thinking. You'll notice he is more likely to say no to extra spending, sharing, or trying something new than to go along with your wishes just to make you happy. He isn't quick to offer help, gifts, or acts of kindness even to people he cares about.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He is likely to be straightforward about money, what comes in, what goes out, and where it's kept. You won't find him hiding expenses or making sneaky purchases. He likes routines and order, so he will want things clear and organized, including finances.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He is more likely to believe that housework should follow strict roles and routines. He may expect you to handle most of the chores, especially the traditional ones, without much help from him. It's important to talk openly about what you want so you don't end up carrying more than your fair share.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He will likely say he is helping, but mostly by watching or giving instructions instead of actually doing the work. When it comes to chores or changing diapers, he might stand nearby or point out what needs to be done rather than rolling up his sleeves and getting involved himself. If you want true teamwork at home, you'll probably feel like you're carrying most of the load while he sticks to his own way.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He rarely argues loudly, but he doesn't make much effort to truly understand your side either. Most times, he'll quietly stick to his opinions, shutting down the conversation or becoming distant instead of listening and finding common ground. He may nod or say little just to end the discussion, but deep down, he's not trying to see things from your eyes or change his mind.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he doesn't usually lash out with hurtful words or act aggressive. Instead, he tends to pull away and become very quiet or cold, keeping his feelings bottled up inside. He might ignore you or avoid talking about the problem, which can be just as hard to handle as shouting.
Does he have a bad temper?
No, he's not the kind of man who gets angry very quickly. He usually stays calm on the outside and does not explode over small problems. You are unlikely to see sudden outbursts or shouting from him in daily life.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He finds it very hard to say sorry or take responsibility when something goes wrong. Rather than owning up to his mistakes, he might quietly avoid the topic or act like nothing happened, letting things slide without real resolution. You won't get a heartfelt apology or honest talk about what went wrong.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He is likely to respect clear boundaries, especially if they are about routines or rules, because he values order and dislikes open conflict. If you say no firmly, he will usually accept it without pushing or arguing. However, you may need to be direct and speak up for yourself, as he might not notice hints or softer ways of saying no.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
He probably won't take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. Instead, he'll quietly accept your decision without much fuss or drama. He's not likely to ask many questions or show hurt feelings, but he may pull away and become a bit distant for a while. He won't get upset or start a fight, but he also might not check in with you about how you feel or try to connect emotionally.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to handle private moments with care. Even though he isn't very warm or emotionally open, he isn't the type to use your secrets or private moments against you later. He may not always make you feel extra loved, but he will keep private matters private.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is likely to be faithful and not easily distracted by other women. He prefers routine and sticking to what he knows, rather than chasing new excitement or taking risks in relationships. You probably won't find him flirting or stepping outside your trust.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He is not the over possessive or jealous type. He doesn't get worked up easily or try to control where you go or who you talk to. Instead, he's more focused on his own routines and keeping life predictable.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protective nature does not come from a need to control you, but more from his desire for routine and order. He is not the type to hover over you, set strict rules, or make decisions for you under the name of caring. Still, this can sometimes feel a bit cold or lacking in emotional warmth, but it isn't about control.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He's more likely to expect you to handle most of the parenting work, sticking to what he sees as traditional roles. He might help now and then with tasks or give instructions, but he's not one to jump in equally or share every part of raising the kids. Clear talks about what you both expect will be important from the start.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
He usually stays calm when the kids mess up or get upset. He's not likely to shout or lose his temper in front of them. Instead, he might become quiet, serious, or slightly cold, wanting the situation handled and things to return to normal quickly.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He may not actively stop you from being your own person, but he isn't likely to cheer you on or offer real support for your dreams and interests. He tends to see roles in a very clear, traditional way, expecting you to focus on family and routines first. While he won't pick fights if you want to do something for yourself, don't expect encouragement, deep understanding, or extra help so you can pursue your passions.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, he could be the kind of man who appears fine with your career at first, but after a child comes, quietly expects you to shift your focus mostly, if not entirely, to home and family. He values routines and traditional roles, so once you become a mother, he may start dropping hints or showing, even without words, that he expects you to manage most of the home and childcare duties. If keeping your career is important to you long term, talk clearly with him now so you both know what to expect.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is more likely to act polite on the surface with your parents rather than show real warmth or form a close bond. He will follow basic manners, greet them, and do what is expected in social situations, but don't expect him to go out of his way to make them feel extra special or truly connect with them. His approach will be respectful and proper, but a bit distant. And he may not join in family chats or celebrations with much enthusiasm. He's not likely to make much effort to adjust to your family's ways.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he will usually handle it by staying calm and quiet rather than making things worse through arguments or angry words. He won't explode or pick fights, but he may withdraw even more, becoming distant from both you and your family. You'll probably end up carrying most of the emotional burden yourself without much help or comfort from him.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you, but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, he's likely to expect you to be a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives, even if he seems a bit modern with you in private. He quietly values order, routine, and fitting into expected roles, especially around family and elders. This expectation might not always be spoken clearly, but you'll feel it in the little hints and the way he prefers no trouble at home.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he is most likely to stay out of it rather than openly support you or side with his family. He prefers to avoid conflict and keep things calm, even if that means letting you handle the situation alone. He isn't the type to pick a public fight or defend you boldly in front of others.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He is not openly a mummy's boy, but he isn't likely to take your side in a conflict with his mother either. When there's tension, he will usually try to keep the peace by staying silent or stepping back rather than standing up firmly for you. He doesn't want open fights or drama, so he may hope the issue just goes away on its own.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He is not likely to share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He values privacy and order, so he generally keeps personal matters between the two of you, rather than letting family get involved in your relationship issues. This can be a good thing, as it protects your boundaries and avoids adding outside drama to your marriage.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Day in and day out, being in a relationship with this man can feel steady and predictable, but also lonely and routine driven. He keeps things organized and avoids drama, so life stays calm, but there's little excitement or deep emotional connection.